In the long nights of the Nevada desert, where the sky is a vast black canvas embroidered with stars, a secret lies buried deep under the dust and whispers of the wind. It was 1947, when the world was still recovering from the wounds of World War II. At that time, a strange object from space fell to Earth, colliding with the ground near a remote ranch in Roswell, New Mexico. Initially, the U.S. military announced that it was just a weather balloon, but rumors spread like wildfire, and the government quickly sealed off the area, turning it into a forbidden land where no one dared to go. Our story begins with a man named Dr. Elias Thorne, a physicist who worked on the Manhattan Project, where he helped create the atomic bomb. After the war, Thorne was transferred to a secret facility in Nevada, known internally as Area 51. Little did he know, his new job would lead him into a world far beyond human imagination. Thorne was a middle-aged man, his hair prematurely gray from sleepless nights spent working on complex equations. He lived alone. His wife had died early from illness, and his only son was serving in Korea. His life revolved around cold laboratories where fluorescent lights illuminated the secrets of the universe. One summer evening in 1952, Thorne received an urgent call from his superiors. "Report immediately to Bunker 7, the voice said coldly over the phone. He drove through the desert, dust swirling in the headlights. Area 51 was then a maze of concrete buildings, surrounded by electric fences and armed guards. No one knew exactly what was going on here except a select few. Thorne entered the bunker, where the air was cold and the smell of metal was strong. There he met Colonel Harlan Graves, a military officer with a hard, battle-scarred face. "Thorne, we have a problem," Graves said, leading him down a dark hallway. They stopped before a thick steel door, protected by a passcode and fingerprint scanner. Inside was a huge laboratory, with strange machines and vials of glowing liquid. In the center of the room was a disc-shaped object, its metal surface gleaming in the light, with strange symbols engraved on it. "This is what we recovered from Roswell. Not a weather balloon, but a spacecraft." Thorne was stunned. He had heard rumors of UFOs, but always thought they were a figment of his imagination. Now, before him was living proof. Graves explained that the craft had crashed due to a mechanical failure, and that there were 3 aliens inside. 2 were dead, but 1 was alive, kept in a coma. They came from a distant planet called Zorith in the Zeta Reticuli star system. They were not invaders, but explorers, searching for resources to save their dying planet. Thorne was tasked with studying their technology. He began by analyzing the ship's engine, a system that used anti-gravity energy to warp spacetime. As the nights passed, Thorne worked tirelessly, filling hundreds of pages of notebooks. He discovered that the aliens, called Zorathians, were humanoid in appearance, but had pale gray skin, large black eyes, and no hair. They communicated through thought, and the one survivor, named Ilara, began to awaken. Thorne's first encounter with Ilara was a life-changing moment. She, for their gender was female, was in a glass chamber, her slender body covered by a protective suit. As Thorne approached, a stream of thoughts entered his mind. "Who are you? Why are you keeping me here?" Thorne was startled, but quickly adjusted. He explained that the U.S. government was hiding their existence to avoid social panic. Ilara told him that the planet Zorith was facing an environmental disaster, and they needed a rare mineral on Earth to repair the planet's core. Over the following weeks, Thorne and Ilara formed a strange bond. He taught her about human culture, from Beethoven's music to fairy tales. In return, Ilara shared her knowledge of the universe, other civilizations, and the secrets of life. But not everything went smoothly. Graves and other high-ranking officials feared that if the information leaked, the world would fall into chaos. They ordered increased security, and Thorne began to suspect that the government was not only hiding but also exploiting Zorathian technology for military purposes. Another character who appears in the story is Sarah Mills, a young journalist from New York. Sarah has fiery red hair and sharp blue eyes, always on the hunt for a big story. She hears rumors about Roswell from a former soldier, and decides to investigate. Sarah drives through the desert, interviewing local residents who tell of strange lights in the sky and strange noises. She sneaks near Area 51, taking photos from a distance, but is discovered and chased away by the guards. Sarah doesn't give up. She contacts an inside source, a technician named Mike, who works at the area. Mike reveals that there are real aliens, and the government is hiding them in a more secret area, called S4, Deep Underground. Sarah begins writing the article, but is threatened by FBI agents. She decides to cooperate with Thorne, whom she meets by chance at a bar in Las Vegas. Thorne, struggling internally, shares a part of the truth with her. The scene expands globally. In the Soviet Union, scientists are also tracking strange signals from space, suspecting the US of hiding alien technology. The Cold War adds to the tension. Thorne realizes that Alara is not just a prisoner, but also the key to humanity's future. She has the ability to heal with her thoughts, and has healed Thorne's old wounds. The story gradually builds tension. Thorne discovers that Graves is planning to dissect Alara for samples. He decides to help her escape, but the plan is exposed. A chase ensues in the desert with jeeps and helicopters. Sarah joins in, driving Thorne and Alara. They escape to an ancient cave, which the Native Americans once considered sacred. Here, Alara reveals that more Zorathian ships are coming to save their kind. But the US government has developed weapons from their technology that can shoot down ships. Thorne must choose loyalty to the country or to the truth of the universe. This opening is long, introducing the characters, setting, and initial conflict, leading into the body. After escaping from Area 51, Thorne, Sarah, and Alara take refuge in a cave deep in the desert. The air is humid. The sound of dripping water echoes. Alara uses her abilities to create a protective force field, hiding them from radar. Thorne and Sarah sit around a small fire, listening to Alara tell about the planet Zorith. It is a lush world, with cities floating in the clouds and technology in harmony with nature. But climate change due to energy misuse has destabilized the planet's core, leading to earthquakes and storms. Alara explains that her mission is to find crystallium, a mineral found only on Earth, hidden deep within the mountains. The US government has learned of it from the wreckage of the ship, and is mining it for weapons. Thorne recalls the experiments at S4, where scientists were testing anti-gravity engines on stealth aircraft. Meanwhile, Graves mobilizes forces to search. He orders a blockade of the entire desert using Black Hawk helicopters and drones. A task force, led by Major Reyes, a tough soldier with a mysterious past, is sent in. Reyes had witnessed UFOs in Vietnam, and believes aliens are a threat. Thorne and the team decide to move to a more secret area, Death Valley National Park, where there are ancient caves where Alara sensed crystallium. They trek through the hot desert, facing sandstorms and lack of water. Sarah, with survival skills from her time as a war correspondent, leads the way. Along the way, they meet a group of Navajo Indians who regard the UFOs as the star people of legend. The tribe's leader, an old man named Kachina, helps them by providing food and ancient maps. In Death Valley, they discover a hidden cave, with ancient murals depicting aliens. Alara activates a device from the ship, opening a deeper entrance. Inside is a giant cave, sparkling with crystallium. But they are not alone. Reyes's team tracks and attacks. A gunfight breaks out. Thorne is wounded, but Alara heals with energy. In the cave, Alara communicates with her kind through her thoughts. Another Zorathian ship approaches Earth, but is detected by American radar. The government activates its defense system, firing missiles. The Zorathian ship evades, but is damaged and lands nearby. Thorne and the group rush to the crash site. There, they meet two more Zorathians, Zorak, Alara's brother, and Lyra, a scientist. They tell them that the Zoriths are sending a rescue mission, but Earth is too dangerous. The US government, under orders from President Eisenhower, is secretly negotiating with another Zorathian faction, exchanging technology for crystallium. The conflict escalates. Graves arrives on the scene with troops, surrounding the group. A confrontation ensues. Thorne convinces Graves that cooperation is better than concealment. But Graves refuses, ordering their arrest. Alara uses her powers to create hallucinations, allowing the group to escape. They move to an area no one knows about, a hidden canyon in Utah, hidden by a Zorathian force field. There, they plan to reveal the truth to the world. Sarah contacts other journalists, prepares the story. But the FBI is watching, and an insider agent within the Navajo group betrays them. A final battle ensues. Reyes leads the team to raid the canyon. Thorne fights, Sarah shoots, Alara and her kind use technology. Graves is captured, and Thorne confronts him. Graves confesses that the government covered up to avoid war with other civilizations, but went too far. The Zorathians repair the ship, preparing to leave with crystallium. But Alara decides to stay, helping humanity face the future. After the battle in Utah Canyon, the world changes forever. Thorne and Sarah publish evidence of aliens in a Blockbuster article, with videos and photos. Initially, public opinion is confused, but gradually accepts. The U.S. government is forced to admit Area 51 and its cover-up programs, leading to major reforms. Alara becomes an ambassador between the Zorith and Earth. She helps develop clean technology, cures for cancer and climate change. Thorne is hailed as a hero, but chooses to live in seclusion with Sarah, who becomes his wife. Graves is put on trial, but it is revealed that there are more secrets. Other civilizations are watching Earth. In the end, Thorne looks up to the sky, knowing that the universe is vast, and humanity is just a small part. The story ends with hope, a reminder that truth always triumphs over concealment.